Hi there, my name is Ellen, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a really powerful tool that's going to help you better understand people around you and better understand yourself. And that tool is called DISC. There was a psychologist who did research on human emotions, and he found that people tend to have 4 main behavioral styles. Based on this research, there was a task created called the DISC assessment that measures how people rank in these 4 different areas, which are dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. We all have these different characteristics inside of us, but people tend to gravitate toward 1 or 2 more than the others. This is your DISC profile. A lot of companies and organizations make their employees take the DISC assessment, but if you haven't taken it yet, there are some free versions online. Those versions aren't going to be as comprehensive as the ones that companies pay for, but they can give you a good sense about which DISC profile you might be. Even if you haven't taken it yet, that is perfectly okay, because in this video, I'm going to be going over the 4 different personality types to help you figure out which one you might be, and also how to identify different DISC profiles in your life. Before we get into the different types, there are some really important things to keep in mind here. So DISC is not supposed to be something that captures every single facet of your personality. Of course, there's going to be things that you feel might be left out, or you might resonate with a lot of a DISC profile, but not every single little thing. And that's perfectly normal and perfectly okay. It's just supposed to be a snapshot of someone's behavior so that you can better understand them and learn how to better relate to them. It's also important to remember that we all have the different styles inside of us. The way that we exhibit our DISC personality might change depending on the situation or who we're with. So you might be really strong in one personality type when you're at work, but in your personal life or when you're with your friends, you might be a completely different type. So know that it can change based on the situation. As I'm going through the different DISC profiles, you're going to see that each one of them has their own unique strengths and unique challenges. So no DISC profile is better or worse than the other. It's just a different way that people tend to approach problems, a different way that people tend to think and express themselves in the world. Now that we've addressed that, let's get into the different personality types. So the D in DISC stands for dominance. D personalities don't really like small talk. They're the type of people who are going to get straight to the point. They're very open to taking risks, a lot more than other DISC profiles might be. And they're very results oriented. It's one of the main attributes of a D personality. They value taking action and getting things done as efficiently as possible. They're often seen taking charge and prefer being in leadership roles. Expect them to challenge you and ask you questions because they're not afraid of confrontation. Some of the fears of the D personality is being seen as vulnerable or being taken advantage of. So they really value being in control and having as much control over their surroundings as possible. One of the challenges for a high D is that they can be impatient. So if you are a high D, know that there are some personality types that need more time to make decisions and process information. So make sure to give them that time. Another challenge for a high D is that they can come off as impersonal or insensitive. So if you are a high D, make sure that you're careful about the way that you phrase things. And if you know someone who's a high D, don't take it personally if they say something that at first sounds really offensive or hurtful. Then there are the I personalities. The I in DISC stands for influence. I personalities are fun, confident, they are engaging and approachable. They are known as the more outgoing and optimistic types. They're very enthusiastic and often very positive. They love people. They're the type of people who will thrive at a networking event or at a party. One of their main strengths is their ability to connect with other people. So they really thrive when they're part of a team or any situation that involves interacting with others. They're motivated by social recognition, group activities, and relationships in their life. Some of the fears for an I personality is losing their influence, being disapproved of, or being ignored. They have really strong communication skills and they like using this to influence other people. If you know someone who's a high I, get to know them on a personal level. Ask them about their family, their hobbies. Make them feel heard and understood. They love praise and recognition, so give them compliments, of course, coming from a genuine place. They're also known to sometimes bounce around in a conversation, so make sure that you keep them on topic as well. They also can be really emotional sometimes, so know that that is part of the I personality. One of the challenges for an I personality is that they can be disorganized, especially when they're stressed. So if you are a high I, it's really important to know strategies that can help you reduce the stress in your life and keep you calm and centered. Another challenge for an I is that they sometimes care too much about what people think about them. So if you're a high I, know that you're valuable regardless of what other people think about you. The S in DIS stands for steadiness. S personalities tend to be very calm and kind. They are very much a team player and love creating harmonious environments and making sure that everyone gets along. They're known to be very helpful and very supportive of other people. They don't really like confrontation and are very much into stability. They tend to be a little bit more reserved than the other types. They can be uncomfortable being the center of attention and prefer being behind the scenes. One of their strengths is that they are a very good listener. Their main goal is cooperating with other people to get things done. They really value the close relationships in their life and are known to be very loyal. If you're an S, know that it's important to set boundaries for yourself so that people don't take advantage of how kind and generous you are, and also know that sometimes confrontation can be helpful to address any issues or problems. And if you work with someone who's an S, make sure that you are very warm and welcoming. Don't go straight into the business portion of the meeting. Make sure to ask them how they're doing, have some small talk with them. They really enjoy learning more about you and having a more casual tone before going into the business part of a meeting. If you have to make a change, let them know as far in advance as possible so that they can mentally and emotionally prepare for that. If you have to give them some negative feedback, make sure you also include some positive things so that they don't feel like you're criticizing them. Then there are the C personalities. The C in DIS stands for conscientiousness. C personalities are analytical. They are more task-oriented than people-oriented. They really enjoy solving problems. When it comes to making decisions, they use their logic more than their emotions. They really take their time making decisions because they want to go through all the numbers, all the facts, all the data. They are known to be very skeptical, so they're most likely going to ask you a lot of questions and be very curious. They also like planning things out. They want to be prepared, and so they're very organized. They are known to have very high standards, but that can also be one of the challenges for them because this can lead them to be very overly critical of other people and of themselves. They really fear being wrong, which is why they really value being so precise and accurate with everything in their life. If you're a C, take time to get to know people. There are people out there who want to connect with you, so give them a chance. Also, be kind to yourself. It's wonderful to have high standards, but know that you can definitely be your harshest critic sometimes, and there are also times when done is better than perfect. So if you're working on something, review it, make sure it looks good, but there's also a point where you need to just submit the work and just put it out there. If you know someone who's a high C, give them the time and the space to work on their own and focus on producing the quality work that they want to. If you're trying to prepare a presentation for a high C, make sure that you include the numbers, the facts, the data, and use logic in your presentation. So those are the 4 different personality types. Let me know in the comments below which one most resonates with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.